Are we live? Yeah, we're live.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
You really adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Bazinga.
Two in the box. Ready to go.
We be fast.
They be slow.
Cool.
All right, and we're live and recording, depending on how you're listening to us. Welcome to the Mt.Geekmore podcast, your favorite podcast where you come to watch, listen, and hear people talk and debate over their top four, Mount Rushmore, if you will, of their favorite pop culture subjects. Today's pop culture subject is we'll be talking about the Mt.Geekmore of video game power-ups. I am Nary Signs. With me, as usual, is Debona.
What up?
And Mike Mercadal.
I'm just doing visual signs for the
just
viewer.
visual signs just for the viewer,
for the
not
viewer,
for the
and then the listener's going to be like, "What is he doing?" We should watch the show live on Mondays at 9 p.m. when they stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
That's right. And then today we welcome special guest for the first time. Hopefully, we'll see a lot more of him. We don't know. Let's see how this one goes.
Let's see how this goes.
Is Alex Stein from the Dungeon on Floor podcast.
The floor is dungeon.
The floor is dungeon. Kind of like the floor is lava. Hi, I'm Alexander Stein. You guys really need to watch this.
I'm just going by what's on your screen.
For sure, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize.
At
No,
Dungeon
you're all good.
on all social media.
Mike did some like Doctor Strange shit with his hands on the screen, and you really got to watch it because it was mesmerizing.
Right. Well, tune in live Monday nights, 9 o'clock. We're going to be on.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us, brother. Appreciate it. This is Debona and my first time meeting you. But Mike recommends you, and you came highly. He vouched for you, and yet we still made an exception and had you on anyway. So
you better not fuck this up for me, Stein. You better not fuck this up for me. They'll never let me invite another for the pressure.
Sweating.
Not that there's pressure, but there's fucking pressure.
That's how diamonds are created, Mike.
Can I just tell you that we have a panelist who has invited a couple of people on to the podcast, and they weren't. And let's just say that whenever he recommends somebody from here on out, we're like,
I like how you paused to be diplomatic.
Well, not only that, but I like the fact that the way I did it, I paused them at the beginning of a word, which leads the audio listener, to be like, did he edit? He edited some hard edit. That was a hard edit. And if you watch the video, it wasn't. I did no editing. I did live editing
That's
now.
self-edit, yeah.
Yeah,
Is this about me inviting people with shitty internet connections from Alabama?
No, it's not even you. It's not even you. That we can forgive. Like, oh, it's bad internet. What are you gonna do? It's like we can't decide. I fucking have shitty internet. My internet cuts in and out. We've talked about this on other podcasts that Mike and I do. I've had better luck while I'm literally in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship. I've had better reception than when I do at my house, hardwired into the router. So who fucking Comcast? Suck a dick. I that's all I can say. I don't know. That might ruin the chances of us being sponsored by Comcast in the future.
Hey.
But fuck it.
I'm using
Comcast
Charter.
is listening. They're always listening.
I'm using Charter, and we're balling over here. So Charter, come get us.
It's true. We love Charter. Whenever I need fast internet speed, I always go to Charter. I didn't even know what Charter was until Debona said it. I had no idea what it was. All right, so let's get it going, man. First of all, we're gonna talk about the Mt.Geekmore video game power-ups. We go around the horn and we talk about our picks, but before we do that, we talk about how we came to those selections. What was our drafting process? Debona, let's start off with you.
So I was stuck for a little bit when we first came up with this topic, trying to draw that line between what's just a weapon and what's a power up. So I found so initially my idea was that it was going to be stuff that was temporary, like you didn't. But then I was like, well, no, that doesn't necessarily make sense. So the rules that I have are kind of loose at best. I'll just say I don't have any weapons on here, as we have done that episode recently. Head over to geekbro.net, check that one out. But so there are no straight up weapons, and it really just came down to shit that's cool, man. Like stuff that like you just look forward to getting it in the game.
Yeah, okay. Mike, how did you come up with your selections?
I wanted to pick stuff again. Cool factor is there. It has to have it also has to fundamentally change, in my opinion, like your approach to the game. Like it has to change either the experience or the look or like the feel. One of my big things when picking stuff was, does it let you reach a new level in the game? Like if you power up, like does it get you to reach a new level like permanently, or if it's an ability that you now like changes, how fast you run or stuff like that. So it's like it changes, it affects the gameplay. It doesn't just it isn't just a more powerful gun or like a it's harder to hit me. It's like it has to change some more of the more esoteric stuff in the game than just like making you just fundamentally harder to kill. It just makes the game more fun, more interesting. Those are the ones and cool factor.
I gotta look up satanic.
Esoteric.
I don't know that.
That is such a Geek Bro Network running gag.
Yeah.
as soon as he said esoteric, I was like, is Neri gonna make the joke or do I make it? I'll give him a chance first.
I was just waiting for him to stop talking. I was like, and here, insert joke here. Stein, hit me. How did you come up with your selection?
So I wanted to go for so I had the same sort of thought process as you, Debona, and I did come to the conclusion that a power-up has to have either a time limit or a use limit. Like, so it could be a weapon so long as at some point that weapon falls out of your hand. Like, so that was my idea for a power-up. Yeah, exactly. Something that gets used a certain amount of times, after a certain amount of time, it's gone by itself. And also because of my first time on Mt.Geekmore, I wanted to think about what would actually be carved up there. So I want things that are going to be like iconic, that have like some sort of recognizability in the sort of mythos of video game power-ups and video games at large.
You wanted something that could be tattooed. Like I just need something that could.
Yeah, absolutely. Put on a postcard and sent from Mt.Geekmore.
That's not bad. I don't think anybody's done the visual appearance on a mountain as like a guideline before.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've done that.
Dick?
I didn't want to be a dick, but you were like making these bold claims. I'm like, Mike, you've been on 4 episodes. What are you talking? Yes, we've done it. We've done it.
Of the episodes that I have done.
It was literally my reason for picking my video game weapons.
Yeah, that was his. Yeah.
You know I don't watch when I'm not on.
Yeah. But I like the fact that I was the one coming off like an asshole. I was the one coming off like a dick. Like, what a dick on there. I'm like, no, but really. I had a tough time with this mountain only because we just did a video game weapons mountain. And this felt like, hey, what is another video game weapons that you didn't pick last time? But then I started asking all these questions in the group chat, which I felt made me seem both pedantic, much more so than I naturally am, which is a lot to begin with, and then also it made me feel like I was feeling like the questions I was asking was making it seem like if I don't like this topic or if I'm not into you know what I mean? I was like, I was like rereading what I wrote, and I was like, this sounds like it's coming from somebody who doesn't want to record, and it's not that case at all. I was having a hard time because we just recorded a weapons episode. So then I was just like, you know what, let me just go to the internet and see what they wrote. And for the most part, I thought of one extra one, but for the most part, I was right in my initial. This is all like all these power-ups that 3 out of the 4 are gonna be like 8-bit, are like power-ups
like retro
in the 8-bit versions of their game. And they may be in the newer versions of such and such game, but they have an origin in the 8 or 16-bit realm. Mostly because nowadays, maybe I'm just looking at this topic the wrong way. I feel like all the power-ups are now weapons that you could just carry forever, or they're from games that I don't play.
I think that has more to do with it than because I'll tell you this: only one of my items on my list is from a 16-bit game, no 8-bit at all.
I've got one 8-bit.
I only have one, and the rest are more modern.
I got a mishmash.
Yeah, I had 4, and then I thought of like, oh wait, there's a video game I just played 2 weeks ago that had, I guess it's a power up. Like, and I'm gonna be called out on this. I'm like, I don't know if this is a power up, but when we get there, we'll.
Hey, that's what we got the flag icon for.
Yep.
Yes, that's if you see this.
Oh, did he freeze? Oh, okay.
So there he goes. He
Throwing
also
a
did.
flag.
He also did
You
freeze.
throw a flag on the play. You gotta go to one of your. You gotta switch it up. No.
Right. And then if you see this, you should just leave. And to the audio listener, if you want to know what that was, make sure to go to our Facebook pages or our YouTubes or our Twitches. All right. So let's go. Hit me with your number 4.
With the 4th pick.
Number 4. Round 4.
I'm in no mood for your wives' crack. Let's get it on.
All right. Well, I'm up here in this corner. So
Wait, give me a second. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
Thought
I was away over the weekend. I did a gig in Cincinnati. Shout out to Cincinnati. Anybody who went to Cincinnati, shout
Did
out
you
to
get
you
some
guys.
of that chili on spaghetti?
I'm off the refined carbs, bro. I haven't had refined carbs in 19 weeks, so no, I did not.
Ooh.
But
What's going on for this man?
Congratulations.
well, thank you. I don't want to brag, but I was super fat. I was even fatter than I am now, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, all right. Let's get to our number 4. DeBono, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is one that I actually had one higher on my list, but it makes more sense to put it at number 4 just because of what it is. My number 4 is the quad damage power up from Quake.
Quad damage. I thought about that one.
And so I had originally had it at number 3, and I was like, no, just for the sake of the fact that it's quad damage, I'm gonna put it at number 4. So the quad damage was literally the Quake icon, and it would just sit there and spin. And when you picked it up, it gave you 30 seconds of whatever you were holding in your hand did quadruple damage, and it went down to every single weapon, down to the axe would have quadruple damage, and there was this great sound effect that would play, and you'd get the little voice of quad damage. I mean, just everything about it was so great, and it was one of those power ups that. When you play first-person shooters, and I guess a lot of video games, I guess it's really just a video game trope, but you knew you were about to get into some shit if you turned a corner, but you didn't see any bad guys, but you saw a quad damage power up, like you knew it was about to go down. Yeah. So you didn't want to grab it right away because you knew you only got 30 to 40 seconds with it when you did pick it up, but you wanted to make sure you didn't get too far from it because whatever was around the next little bend was going to suck. It's very simplistic in what it is, but the look of it was great because it was just the Quake logo. It also showed up in the multiplayer when you would play Quake, and it became something that like there would just be piles of bodies around because everybody would be rushing it, and it would just be a massacre trying to get to the quad damage. It was one of those things. It was one of the first. Quake was one of the very first, if not the first, like first-person shooter that I got really, really into. And I just, it was as soon as we said it, this was the second thing that popped into my head was the quad damage, just because it stayed with Quake forever. Like it's one that is in all iterations of the game has repeated, has come back, and it's still every bit as cool as it was that very first time I got it. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't need to go on to it for too long. But yeah, the quad damage from Quake.
I played Quake 3 Arena a lot.
Oh,
and that was where I remembered it from, because that was where I also you would get into mods and you could get skins and you could change your guy and all this stuff. And then every time, you were running around in there, and it was genuinely like you would just see a rocket, like someone would either be camping to snipe the quad damage or to like sit. Like it was definitely like the most desirable spot to get to. If you could find where it was and you get it every time, you were like unstoppable for like a couple seconds.
Yes.
I was thinking of like the God mode that you would pick up in Doom, because I just got done getting through Doom Eternal. That's what like Doom and Quake are like kind of the same thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like I never really played Quake. That's one of those blind spots. I had it on CD-ROM, and it was just a little too beefy for like my bar mitzvah PC that I had bought when I was 13.
Yeah. That was the struggle of the PC gamer at the time. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
check out this cool game. And you're like, I can't. I want to, but I cannot.
Right on. All right. So, Mike, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is the long shot, which is the upgrade to the hook shot from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, where like you get this thing at the beginning and it can like you can zip around and move places and things like that. But then once you get the upgrade, you can finally access like different levels and the temples that you couldn't get to before, and it just kind of fundamentally expands the world that you can like revisit old areas to like to get access new things, get new secret. Like that's a perfect example of what I meant about it, how fundamentally changes the way you play the game, because you're no longer limited by a certain thing. Like when you first learn to do the run B jump from Super Mario Brothers, that you can do the longer jump over gaps, it's like you discover how to like beat the game. This was like that for Ocarina of Time. Like
Yeah, no.
What?
Look, when you mentioned like an upgrade that changes like what you can get to, I was like, okay, so he's thinking either long shot, or I had another game in mind where it's essentially the whole game is just upgrading your stuff so you can keep getting into further points of the game. Which I was wondering if that's the one you were going to go with.
Well, you know, when you think about like what a power up is, that is a genuine like power, like to like it increases the power of your item, and you had to earn it. Like that was another thing in when I made my list, is also like you either like it changes the game in a way that you play it differently, and the long shot is like a perfect example of that. That's why it's like the bottom of the list, but it's like the perfect example of like my thought process going into it. And also like realizing that you like when you go that you have to go back and rediscover certain areas. Like that's such a big part of the games that I like, where like in Metroid, when you get a new power, I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody's shit, but like that's a perfect example of like it all exists in one space, and you kind of run back and forth through the same spaces, getting a little further each time depending on how you do it. With Ocarina of Time, I was obsessed with that game. I played that game like crazy, and it became this thing of like pre-strategy guides and internet. Like when you finally get like something like a power up, that's what made it like you fucking earned it. You're like, oh shit.
You didn't have the Brady guide for Ocarina of Time?
No, I didn't. Well, that's the thing. If you didn't have the money to buy it, you know, like those are the first in-app purchases where you had to go buy a fucking strategy guide, which I would do for the Final Fantasy games though.
Yes.
It was Prima for me. That was the company
Yeah.
Prima strategy guides.
I wouldn't. I would definitely not have the money for those strategy guides, but I remember my compensation for it was like, oh, that's cheating.
Yeah, right.
That's like, oh, you're using a strategy guide. That's for pussies, bro. That's for cheaters.
That's why you play it one time without the strategy guide, and then replay it with the strategy guide to get everything.
Then you can play both cards. Oh, pussies
exactly
already.
Yeah,
I am reading pussy.
Exactly.
I am legit I would only say that because I did not have the money to get like if I had you know what I mean. If somebody would have been like, I'll buy you a strategy guide, I'd be like, yeah, cool, thanks. I would definitely not, but that was just my hiding behind that. I was like, oh, that's for fucking losers, bro. That's for cheaters.
Bro, you suck if you need it.
Yeah.
And then a single tear falls from your eye
as you watch the other kids
get the super rare materia. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah,
you know
the
what?
long shot from Legend of Zelda is my pick.
You know what? My parents are still together, so how about that? Enjoy it, Timmy. You go to both houses? Fine.
2 Christmases.
All right, let's go to Stein. What do you got, brother? What do you got?
Big pipe.
Big pipe?
Yeah,
Big
you know,
pipe?
like okay.
About your pick for the game, not what you have in between your pants. What do you? We're talking about
both big pipe. Yeah, this my number 4 is the big pipe. You know, in any sort of side-scrolling brawler game, you'll get like weapons that drop.
Yeah,
just
like
like-
final
it's-
fight, like final
Mhm.
fight.
Double
Right,
dragon.
the big pipe.
Fucking Hagar with his one strap overalls. Mike,
One
you
strap
kind of look like
overall. What the fuck? And it was diagonal. It was diagonal. It was the
And he was like
weirdest-
the mayor of the fucking city. They kidnap his daughter. He's like, I'm gonna go beat ass.
You know what he
Takes
looks
off
like?
his-
He looks like this dude, Invincible's dad, is what he looks
Yeah,
like.
he does. Omni-Man.
Wow.
He does.
Man.
Guys, they're the same guy.
Wow. I do
but yeah,
want tug overalls now. Toga overalls.
Big pipe. I think like if there's any other weapon lying around, it could be a fucking katana. Always going big pipe. I think it's kind of like the quad power from Quake, but for side-scrolling games. I think on the facade of Mount Rushmore, we're gonna put big pipe right where Jefferson is. So it goes. So it's like from left to right. You've got Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and then Lincoln on the far right. Right. So he's
Bro,
second
you could have
in
said
there.
any names, and I would have been like, "Is it?" I don't.
For the
I
listeners,
know it,
yeah,
but I
Stein is
don't know.
clearly the smartest guest that's ever been on Mt.Geekmore. Clearly,
Whereas
flexing.
our logo down here has got 5 faces on it.
Yeah, our logo has 5 faces on there. One of them is a chick. We don't we just legitimately don't.
Yeah.
And the fact that Stein was like, blah, I can't even repeat the order now.
Washington.
It was fucking 30 seconds ago, and I
Yeah.
can't repeat the order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the
And a big
concept of
pipe,
big
just
pipe
to-
because it's a weapon, but it's limited use, right? So
Yeah,
does just
it'll, like,
power you
fall
up
out of
for
your
a little
hand at
while in
some
the game.
point.
Yeah,
Exactly. It doesn't like, sure, you could have like monkey wrench, like you start in fucking like BioShock with a monkey wrench, and it's like your main melee weapon the entire fucking time. That's not a power up, dude.
That's your
Big
weapon.
pipe is. Big pipe is.
Big pipe is. That's
Big
gonna
pipe.
go on a
Oddly enough-
T-shirt. Big pipe
Oddly
is.
enough, when I was a kid, I didn't like the big pipe. Well, I still don't like it as an adult, but as a kid, I didn't like choosing the big pipe because of that, because it went away so quickly. I'm like, yeah, this is good for like 3 fucking, like specifically in Final Fight. I remember thinking to myself, like, this was cool for those 2 guys, but I'm fucking like, it's already done. Like, it starts getting weaker and weaker real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is a power up.
That's why it's number 4.
Yeah,
Fair
makes
enough.
sense. All right, so this my number 4 is a power up that I only remembered because of the link of the Wikipedia link that Mike sent out, because I was so fucking annoying with my questioning of like, what is a power up? Hey man, I'm able to self-reflect and be like, wow, I was annoying. But he sent this link, and I remembered when I read it, I was like, yes, I remember. And the only reason I'm putting it as my number 4, because I don't know if it would even be allowed, is because anytime I get to talk about Bonk's Adventure from TurboGrafx, I need to jump on this shit.
I loved that game. My brother had a
so
TurboGrafx Express.
My one of my best friends growing up as a kid had a TurboGrafx 16, and he had it like 2 years before we had the Super Nintendo. So he was like like, I thought this was gonna be the wave of the future. I'm like, we're gonna get a fucking TurboGrafx 16, but it was so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But he was able to afford one because his
Divorced parents.
His parents so
See, mommy loves you more.
yeah, exactly. And we were all the benefit for it. Like, the whole neighborhood was like, thanks guys. Hey, step your game up, Mr. Alvarez. Is that a real name? So anyways, so the Wikipedia page reminded me that Bonk's Revenge had a fake power up and when you would, because you would have to bonk it with your head, and whenever you would bonk it, an enemy will come out.
Oh,
And it's what the Wikipedia calls what is it called?
a red
A reverse. It's a reverse
down.
Yeah,
a power down. Yeah,
it's a reverse power up. And I'm like,
Power down.
Power. Yeah. So I guess, but I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know had a name. I guess everything in games has a name, but I didn't know.
Sure.
But once I read Bonk's Revenge, I'm like, I have to talk about Bonk's Revenge just to be able to talk about fucking Bonk's
God,
Revenge.
Turbo.
So if you guys want to
Graphics.
call it
the right
flag
move.
on that, because it's not actually a power up, but it's still in the page.
Hey, man,
It
It's
is.
your
It's
mom.
a reverse
it's
power
a
up.
reverse power up. Sure.
Power up
Yeah.
is in the label. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, Bonk's Revenge, man.
So it's
Yeah,
just
what
the
a good-
fake power up is the name of it.
Well, I do like that because
Yeah,
it
so
does
it's
set the precedent that when games started learning that to fuck with you, like back in the day when they were like, I remember when I first played that Lost Levels Mario game and there was the poison mushroom.
Yeah, the
Oh,
poison
yeah.
mushroom,
And it
yeah.
kills you. And I remember like, I got the mushroom, and then I looked closer, and it has a little fucking skull on it,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, there are bad mushrooms. Like that is a genuine like it's a
Life
trap.
lesson.
Also
I-
a genuine life lesson. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I wonder how long they took the developers to be like, you know what? Let's just put a fucking bad mushroom in there just so we could get the parents off our ass. Like,
Yeah.
all mushrooms are not good mushrooms.
And the thing about a reverse power up is that once you master the game, you look for that to give yourself an added little spice, little
Get
extra
a little
difficulty.
extra
It's like have you beat it with the reverse power up though?
Yeah.
So you be that guy.
Did you get all the reverse power ups too?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Only I do that because I
Yeah.
have married parents.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what these reverse power ups are. You must have the Prima guide. No, thanks. That's the cheaters. That's the cheaters. All right. So
good.
number 4. So hold on, we got here. Let me write this down.
I really doubt anyone's gonna have a perfect mountain this time.
Wait, so
Dude, it's getting
perfect
wild.
mountain is when nothing gets tabled on your list.
No, it's when
no,
when you're
it's the other way
four are
around.
the
It's when
final
every
four.
one of your picks get. It's all right. So at the end, let me explain this to the listener now. I guess we should do this because we could have new listeners. So at the end, we come up with the final mountain, and the final mountain is either voted on, like, oh, I like this one. This is a good pick. Usually, the choices that have multiple picks are like automatic. Like, well, we got to put if for example, the quad damage. If 3 people pick that, 3 out of the 4 people pick that, that should be making the final mountain because it gets 3 picks, it gets 3 votes, so to speak. Right. But with our show, with our diverse cast, usually if you get any pick that gets repeated once, that's enough to get on the final mountain. Usually, not always, but usually, like on the show that I got this idea from, which DeBono used to be part of as well, called the Mount Rushmore podcast, there would be times where people would get 2 or 3 like picks repeated and they still wouldn't make the final mountain. And then if the entire final mountain is your entire list, then you got the perfect game.
Yeah.
All right.
Challenge accepted.
Well, you already fucked up because
Big pipe.
Are you kidding me? Big pipe is good.
No,
we'll
we're not
discuss
saying
them
it's not. We're not saying it's not. We're just saying at the end,
there might be better ones.
yeah, there might be better ones.
Could smoke weed out of it.
Oh, that big pipe. Yeah, no, we're gonna pick that. All right, let's go with the number 3s.
Round 3.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is.
All right, DeBono, what do you got for your number 3, man?
My number 3 is one that has shown up in all iterations, or not in all iterations of this game, but in later iterations. And now it's still around in the most current one. My number 3 is the Smash Ball from Super Smash Brothers. If you're unfamiliar with Super Smash Brothers, it's a beat 'em up game where you play as popular Nintendo and now just anybody that Nintendo can buy characters. And you fight each other. Now, each character has what's called a final smash, which is a move you cannot do at all times. But when you get the smash ball, it automatically fills your final smash meter, which then if you hit does something dope as fuck. Like final smashes are pretty much always rad. And
Ultra combo.
Yes, and the smash ball, that you can get final smashes without the smash ball, but the smash ball will automatically fill that meter so that you get your final smash. And it changes the way that a fight will be going, because even if you're winning, that can be such a turning point in the game that if you've got something going and you've got a guy kind of cornered and that thing starts flying around, now part of your strategy has got to be getting that so the other person does not. It can also be, I'm getting my ass kicked. I need something to turn the tide. I need to quit focusing on my opponent and I need to go get the smash ball. And so from the aspect of changing the game, it can now I will watch professionals play Super Smash Brothers and they're not all that into Smash Balls. They usually play with no items and stuff like
FYI,
that.
that's a hilarious statement. I totally followed that statement. I got what you were saying, but that fact that statement is a real statement is just boggles my father's mind.
And so-
my dad is like, Dad, well, you'll never make any money doing that. Okay, Dad, I'll give up. Look what you fucking did.
Yeah,
Look what
yeah.
you
Now
cost
you
me
got
the
guys like
fucking-
Ninja who make more than all of us combined for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
But
You know how much I make, DeBona?
You're right. I don't. But you're here with us.
You're
and doing it
right.
for free. So I'm gonna assume you don't make Ninja money.
It's actually not for free. He actually gets all the earnings from tonight's
episode.
Cash App donations.
Everybody, please send money to Mt.Geekmore. They told me I could keep every dollar, so you know it goes to a good cause.
Both of them. You can keep both of them, bro.
Keep both dollars.
But the Smash Ball makes the game more fun. It can disrupt and change the flow of a fight, especially once you get up to having like 4 people in there, because just getting it also doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get to do your final smash, because if you get beat real quickly, that thing will come flying at you and somebody else can get you. So not only does it power you up, but then it functions to now draw attention to you if somebody still wants it. So my number 3 is the Smash Ball from Super Smash Brothers.
Smash Ball. All right. Oh shit. There we go. No, we got it. All right.
Use the Smash Ball. You're not a pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot his dad.
I don't rely on gimmicks.
Oh, you
bro.
play with items, bro?
Oh, you got a
amateur.
smash. You play with a Smash Ball? My parents are still together. Mike, what do you got for your number 3, man?
The Kuribo shoe from Super Mario Brothers 3.
The what?
Do you remember the green shoe that you can jump in and bounce
Oh, yeah, the
around
boot.
in
The
Super
boot.
Mario Brothers 3?
It has
The
a
boot.
name.
The boot.
It has
It's
a
not
name.
just
It's
the
called
boot.
No, it's called a Kuribo shoe, and like you need it to get past certain plants, and
Yeah,
you
like
get-
those black things that
Yeah.
chomp.
and
Yeah.
and when you're in it, like you're kind of like invincible, you know. You like and your eyes kind of like peek out over the edge of it's like a complete. At that time, there was no Yoshi. At that time, there was no, you still had like power ups where you could turn into things, but like at that time, like riding in a thing was like it changed the game, and you could also jump super high, and it was like it was just like a completely different, because you bounced. You would be like doing, and you kind of like slid around, and if you were running on ice, like it would grip. It was just like the most fun once you got it, because you get it like late in the game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I want this everywhere. And I remember I like as a kid, like trying to leave the levels with the shoe. And you could go, I can't remember if you could go with the shoe or not, but I remember like everywhere you could get the shoe. At this time I did buy a strategy guide, and I would go and I would like figure out like where it was. Yeah, no, they are for real. That's not a lie.
It was his one
100%
Christmas
true.
present. Leave him alone.
Yeah, one of them got me the game, the other one got me the book. It's just the way it was. Divorced parents. But yeah, like I just remember loving that shoe, and there was like secrets that you could do with it. Like if you were, it was a lot of stuff. I just loved the concept at that time, because the first time that you saw Mario like riding in a thing, so you just see like his little head peeking out over the edge of the boot. It was awesome. I just remember loving that thing so much. So it to me it was like changed the game in that moment. When I first got the shoe, I was like, oh fuck, like that. Like it was so much fun to play in a boot, and knowing that you could get across. And
I feel like you should make that a Mario Kart skin for one of the
It should
cars.
be a vehicle, right?
It
should be
should
a vehicle.
absolutely
Just
be a
slap
vehicle.
some wheels on a boot. You're good to go. Or should it float?
Oh,
Definitely-
it should be a hydroplane, like it should
Yes.
be like a hydro vehicle.
and it
Or like,
bounces
what if-
slightly.
Like a
What if
hovercraft.
it was a power up and not just like if it actually was a power up for your cart? So you hit the boot, you activate it, you turn into the boot, and then you can stomp on other cars for like a certain amount of time.
We're creating magic here for Nintendo. It's a good thing that they're one of the dollars that go to the Cash App.
It's, guys, now that we've already said that, we're gonna get shut. This episode is gonna get flagged.
The second we say Nintendo.
What's great about that is how they've continued to bring it back and do different things with it. In Super Mario Brothers, I think it's not Wii U. It's one of the 3D. In Super Mario Brothers 3D World, you can get one, and it's an ice skate on the ice level, and it helps you around. And then in just this past summer, we were playing. My family and I were playing Origami King, and his car that he uses to drive around the open world is the boot with wheels.
I'm telling you this. I'm so happy. Like, I need to get. I don't have a Switch, but the second I get a Switch, I'm going to get like the Mario games because those are Nintendo to me. You know what I mean?
Mario Odyssey is legit one of the best games I played. Mario Odyssey is like a fucking excellent.
I need to just buckle down and play it and quit just like picking it up when my kids get stuck.
But yeah, that's my pick. The Kuribo shoe.
I'm putting it down as the boot. I don't know how to spell what the fuck you just said, so I'm gonna put the boot. That's what I called it. Stein, what do you got for your number 3, man?
Number 3, I think this one might, if any of them are going to get tabled, I think this might be the one. And it's kind of a blanket, and we already talked about it. Yes, it's the mushroom. Just, I'm saying, because I'm picturing it carved in stone up on the mountainside. So that means it could be any mushroom power-up from specifically Mario. Grow.
No, you got to choose
extra life. Do I have to choose like a specific fucking one mushroom?
Because they're all different power-ups. Each one is a different power-up.
One is an extra life.
One is an extra life.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not just.
There's the tiny one.
It has to be like. It has to be that specific. Okay, then you know what? I'll just stick to the classic big mushroom then. It's the very first mushroom that you see in Mario. When you hit the thing, it's the very first thing you get. And it just exemplifies the whole thing when you become Big Mario for the very first time in the very first Super Mario's game. I'll say big mushroom. I thought mushroom would get tabled. And that's going right where Washington's face is.
So
are you going to show us a sketch at some point?
It goes right there. Big mushroom
the left, the big one on the left,
all the way to the left. Yeah,
right.
So right now we've got mushroom, big pipe, and blank space.
Gotcha. Now for the classic mushroom, we're going the OG pixelated original mushroom that was like brown and reddish.
All the way back, baby. We want to start with the first one.
Like
that's so much more work for the carvers. They're like, it's gonna be pixelated. Fuck.
Wait, no. But it still has. Actually, no. It has to have the little eyes on it. Like it has to be that mushroom. You know, it's got the little like face. You know, like it's a little bit rounder. It's that mushroom.
All right,
with little eyes on.
It's like Mario 3, right?
Mario 3, I believe, is the first eyes and round.
Is that the first time it got the eyes on it?
I think so.
Yeah.
When it does that matching thing.
Yeah. The wizard Mario.
Yeah. All right.
That's what it's called, the wizard, right? With the glove, the power glove.
Oh yes, that's right. From the wizard.
I actually have a preview poster of the wizard.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
It's so bad.
So
pick 3, mushroom.
I want
Super Mario Brothers 3 mushroom.
Power Glove was the most like high expectation, like overpromise, underdeliver.
Oh my god!
Thing in the history of video game, like the biggest potential. Like, look how cool it is, and then when you find, I remember I had someone with divorced parents who got it, and it was the suckiest of sucks. Like it was just the worst.
We literally put all of our gifts together. We told our parents that it was gonna be all of our Christmas presents together. There's 4 of us in the house. We're like all of us together, and then they bought it, and then we used it for, I swear to God, maybe 2 days, and then we fucking returned it because every one of us, like without a doubt, we were just like unequivocally, yeah, no, this sucks. Return it. No, return it. And since we're Hispanic, we are one returning happy motherfucking family. Like we return everything. We're like, no, I only used it for 29 days. Your return policy is 30. Fucking give it back. That Power Glove sucked, but it looked cool. It
did look cool.
And we first saw Super Mario Brothers 3 with the face on the mushrooms.
Yeah. One of the animators on Robot Chicken has modded out a Power Glove, custom made it to be his controller for when he's doing stop motion animation. And it's
That's
there's
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's badass. So he's like hitting the back and forth buttons on the D-pad, like watching the screen from far away. It's got little tweezers that are like magnetically attached to it. You can just pull them off and like move a little model, and then he just lets them go, and they go zip right back to that spot.
Talk about being committed to your craft.
He's one of like the best animators ever. This does stop motion. But anyways, that guy, he cracked the Power Glove code.
Nice.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the newest entry on my list and the only non-originated from 8-bit entry, I guess. Now, if this is not allowed, I'm okay with you telling me it's not allowed. But I'm going to throw this out there. I think it is allowed because of what DeBona said his pick was. My number 3 is the Scorpion Punch from Spider-Man Miles Morales. It has to be charged, right?
Yeah.
You have to get the charge, and then once you use it, you can't. It's not like permanent or whatever, but it's it's not the Scorpion Smash, which is also pretty cool, but it's a Scorpion Punch, which you get later on towards the game. If you haven't played the game, it's like a 3-hour game, so you get it all the way like an hour or 2. It's such a fucking short game. It's such a short game. It really is. I'm only exaggerating by a little bit. I think it's like a 6-hour game is what they say it is.
That's
anyway.
still a lot. It's still expensive for charging full price for that game is like.
Yeah, it's a great game, but it's very short. And especially when it's a sequel to a well-known like game that was a lot longer.
From that game is on my list.
Yeah, Miles Morales I think is the better game of the two. However, it's still a short game. Regardless, not talking here or there. The Scorpion Punch I think is fucking dope. Like that's.
So what does it do?
So basically,
I haven't played Miles Morales.
So it's basically like a kind of like an Arukit, right? But it's like he charges himself up and then he fucking goes through motherfuckers, and then when he hits whoever he hits, they're now not only do they take massive damage, but if they're still around, if you haven't completely beat them at that point, then they'll be shocked, they'll be frozen, and then if you grab them with web and you swing them and you hit somebody else who wasn't affected by the Scorpion Punch, they are now stunned with the Scorpion Punch power. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I totally count. Like, look, if the long shot is something that you have permanently that you use at different points, but you get it later on in the game, that's a power up. Like you definitely, if you earn it,
I think the reason why I was wondering if it was a power up or not is because you can get it multiple times during a fight, even like during a boss fight, you're gonna use it a couple times, but you have to earn it because you have to get the meter up, and in order to get the meter up, you have to do other moves that get
I'll allow it. Like I'm the authority. Like I'll allow it. Watch yourself, there, counselor. The court.
Hey, I had a thing that was disallowed earlier, and then I had to be more specific. So this time you're allowing it.
You're allowing. That's right.
Yeah, I'm fine with it because it definitely sounds like it's a powered up version of something else that you have and that you get by fighting. So yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. I want to do that.
I want to play that game, but I'm not going to pay the full price for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it makes more sense now. Like I remember Jeff had bought it on PS4 and then he got his PS5 and they do a free upgrade to a PS5 version when you get the PS5. But the bundle that he bought the PS5 in came with a hard copy of the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. So he went to go to GameStop and they offered him $15 for it. Like brand new, still wrapped.
Classic GameStop move.
Yes. I thought that's what I thought. Like, oh, get the fuck out of here, GameStop. Go fucking kick some rocks. And then you play it and it's a 6-hour game. You go, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
$15 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
That's DLC.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good pick. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So number 3s are Smash Ball from Super Smash Brothers, the boot from Mario Brothers 3, the big mushroom from Mario Brothers 3, and the Scorpion Punch from Spider-Man Miles Morales.
The embiggening mushroom.
Yes.
The
engorged mushroom.
Yeah. Big pipe, lots of phallic imagery. Big pipe. Engorging mushroom.
Engorging mushroom, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
Like if you just want to carve a dick onto the mountain, Stein, you can do it. You know,
hey,
there's got to be a Boogie Nights video game.
I got the big pipe and a mushroom, so I'm halfway there.
Yeah,
2 spots left. Leisure
Next
Suit Larry.
Upgrade is like Pokeballs, and now it's like 2 balls, a shaft, and a mushroom.
This is my Rorschach test.
We'll talk about this on Woo Bro, Mike. But I got hit on by a gay couple, by 2 gay dudes yesterday.
Oh.
And
Congratulations.
it was like the most flattering thing. I was like,
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
Oh,
I feel pretty.
I do. I was like, oh, and it was like, and they were married. It was a married gay couple, and they were like,
Ooh.
both of us said the same thing.
Down to
You can get it, and I was like,
down to swing. Good
I was
for
like,
you.
here's a free T-shirt, sir. You earned it.
And you took your
Flattery-
T-shirt off and handed it to him, right?
Flattery gets you everywhere with me. All right, move on to our number 2. Let's move on to our number 2s.
Round 2.
Dose, the sequel to Uno.
All right, number 2. Hit me with your deuce. Debona, hit me with your deuce.
So my number 2 is the very first thing that I thought of. I remember this as the first video game that I ever played, and the first time that I got one of these being insane. Like it just blew me away. My number 2 is the Superstar from Super Mario Brothers, originating with the original. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. That's why I didn't put it on the list.
Table.
Mike, what do you got?
I am going to go, keeping with the Spider-Man theme, the web zip and the launch that you get from Spider-Man in on the PS4 Spider-Man, because you can start like hauling ass through the city, and it kind of changes like how you can jump. Like it's hard to explain if you haven't played the game, but you can swing through the city, or you can get up on top of the roofs and pull yourself and slingshot you, like through the web slingshot through the.
That's your pick. Out of that game, there are so many power-ups in that game, and that's the one you picked. The one
because
where
people like what they like.
It's my mountain. But the idea of what I said about it fundamentally changes the game for me is because at a certain point you have to get good at that, because if you want to beat like the Taskmaster missions or other stuff, like very specific missions in that game, but also, and this is just for me, this is like a very, that game blew me away so much because like I'd been to places in that game in real life. Like I could go, like I was swinging through like where the building I used to work at, you know, and even though it's like a condensed version of Manhattan, it was like I could see the bridge that I had to cross to get to my apartment, you know, like I could see all of this stuff, and then being able to zip around it faster, and like anything that involved you maneuvering through the city better made it feel like I was fucking Spider-Man. Like honorable mention to the little spider bro that you get, there's a lot of so many things, but they're still just like weapons that you use, and you can upgrade your web shooters to swing get bigger guys around and all that shit. But to me, what fundamentally like made the game more interesting and more fun was being able to zip around the city and like launch yourself off of the top of a building and then dive and then catch yourself and keep going. And that game, the flow of that game made it so like important to me. I burned through that game. I played every minute of that game, and that's why it blows my mind that Miles Morales is only like a few hours. But it's genuinely like it was so engaging once you were able to like move more freely, and I didn't even know you needed it until they give it to you. That's like another thing. Like the second you get it, you're like, oh, this is way fucking different, and it just feels different. That game, zipping around, you know, Manhattan is like some of the most fun I've ever had in any game. And it was, you know, like because you can upgrade and you feel like you like master the controls even better, and you get better at it. You know, like it's just real fun. It just makes just navigating the game more fun.
Sure.
And it's a power up.
I lost my shit when I found the Sanctum Sanctorum in that game. Like,
right?
like came unglued. Had not like I just in my head it was like, oh, it's just a Spider-Man game. There'll just be Spider-Man shit there. And then I was like, oh my god!
When you like find like the photo missions, so like you get a camera and you go and take photos of like the different spots in the city, and I'm like, there has to be someone on the internet that went to those places and took the same pictures that you could. You know, some of them are like the Daily Bugle, whatever, but you can take pictures of the building that's supposed to be the Daily Bugle, or you could take pictures of like the statue in Times Square, or that weird mansion in by the Met. You know, like all of
Or
that. Shit.
boner in the car in the park.
Yeah. It's not even his car. It's just a car.
But yeah, the zip. I forget which is this the name, because there's like the web zip and then the web launch and then there's something else. But the one that you shoot off to, you slingshot yourself, and then and then there's another one that you like leap, like you like vault off of the like a point. You zip up to it and you go pew, and you keep going. I love that. It's my favorite.
All righty then. Stein, what do you got?
My number 2, and by my definition, this is a power-up. It may not be the most powerful power-up, but it's iconic in the way that it shapes the sort of world of this game and this game franchise. That's going to be Nuka-Cola from Fallout.
Oh shit!
It does power you up. I mean, it does
power
you. You know?
Yeah,
it gives you healing,
advantages to different things.
Yeah. And like if you get like the quantum Nuka-Cola, and also there are like so many different weapons throughout the different games that are like Nuka-Cola inspired, but you have to like find the blueprints for them, get all of the components, build this shit. And again, just thinking of sort of like Americana and iconography, we got Coca-Cola in our world, and that shit should be up on fucking Mount Rushmore. Those guys own the copyright to Santa Claus. Do you guys know that?
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
and polar bears.
And fucking polar bears. That's why you've never seen a polar bear in a Charmin commercial. Look it up. Copyright law.
It's just those brown bears that look like shit.
Yeah,
and they love the shit.
Those bears love nothing more.
Polar bears don't shit. They only drink Coca-Cola. Okay.
That's a game series that I never really got into. Fallout.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
I've never
so good.
I've never played a minute.
So hyped for London, but anyway,
so good. Yeah.
People who love it really love it, and then they felt like super betrayed by Fallout 76 because it was like a real cash grab kind of thing, like online game.
Yeah.
But like people who love like Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas like fucking love it.
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm gonna go with that one right there. It's not the most powerful thing, but like you find the toys, you go to the factory, like there's all sorts of things around it. I think it's just like it powers up the world, if not you as a player.
Does the mascot there's a soda in the game? Again, I have never played a second of Fallout. Does the mascot of the soda, do they have a mascot? And if so, is it a bear of any kind? Is it like a koala or something?
That I don't think they have one. I think it's just like it's like a fucking ship. Like it's like a fucking spaceship is basically their icon.
And like when you go to Nuka World in Fallout 4 DLC, there's like giant, anthropomorphized bottles.
Yeah, it's like the Simpsons episode where they go to Duff World and they got like the fucking the big Duff beers in suits and they're walking. It's like, I'm surly. Like they've got those versions, but they're like Nuka-Cola bottles. That's right. Are they robots?
Yes.
Yeah, they're robots. So like retro. Nuka-Cola bottle robots.
Because the Fallout logo guy is the like 50s.
Yeah, he's the Pit Boy.
Vault Boy.
Yeah. That's dope. That's actually that's pretty iconic. Yeah.
I might get into I don't think
let's go in where Roosevelt is.
Sure. The one that goes further back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you're gonna pick one up, Mary, go with 3.
Which
Roosevelt? A good place to start.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
It's Franklin Delano Roosevelt in a wheelchair.
One?
Up there, yeah. Putting a wheelchair guy in a mountain is kind of like a big fuck you to the guy. No, like here's a place your face is on that you can't get to.
Well, historically, the whole Mount Rushmore in general is a big fuck you to the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Is this your property? Sure. Oh, fuck you.
About a bunch of white dudes' faces on it.
Do you have a flag? Because
I love that bit.
That's Eddie Izzard.
You have a flag. Yeah. What's your number 2?
I think Jay Moore was the one that said Mount Rushmore is one of those people who's like, you see that mountain? I can make it better. It's a fucking mountain, man. It's already pretty impressive. Nah, I can make it better. My number 2 is something that it could be controversial in the Me Too era, post Me Too era.
Uh-oh.
My number 2 is the bottled fairy from
yeah.
because you are
Interesting.
kidnapping and
Honorable
entrapping.
mention.
You are kidnapping and entrapping women, I guess, females. Anyways, but no, was this a Link to the Past? I want to say is it either a Link to the Past or Kingdom of Time. I forget which one.
Link to the Past for sure.
Link to the Past has it, and I know I don't know if the very first one has it.
No, it's definitely Link to the Past because that's where you get the net.
Right.
Oh yeah.
In the first one, you have to like find them hidden, and you just walk up to them and they heal you.
Right.
Yeah.
But the bottled fairy specifically is what I consider the power up, because the power that's the one where not only can you use it in battle, but if you die, it'll just like it does that spotlight of like you're dead, and then it comes out like she frees herself,
right?
Then you come back to life, which I think is pretty cool of her. That's pretty like, yeah, I kidnapped you and put you in a bottle. Also, I died before I could let you loose. And now that I am dead, I guess I fell on the bottle and I cracked it.
Right, yeah. Thing. It's like, can she get out whenever she wants?
And you're like,
this is some Stockholm syndrome shit. Like, how
Which is what I was gonna say. Is this some Stockholm syndrome shit where you go, I could get out whenever I want, but he's gonna change. He'll change for me. He'll let me. He'll let me out. And that's
when he does let me out, we're gonna be happy. We're gonna be happy.
We're gonna be happy.
He's really a good guy, Mom.
You don't know him like I do. He's trying to save the world, Mom.
It's normal to walk around with a sword.
Oh man,
you know, I had fairy bottle on honorable mentions, and I was just like, it's a weird one though, right? Because she comes out when you die, so it's like maybe she wants to be in there, but then again, maybe it's just Stockholm syndrome. Maybe
the fairies are allies of Link. They always have been. So they just got your fucking back. That's what it is.
Yeah, but then that was before and or after he grabbed you with a net. Like the fact that he grabbed you with a net, like I was just like, hey, man,
what if the healing is like a byproduct, like when Squid's ink? The fairy's like finally getting away and goes, and then it just it just coincidentally heals you. It's just
it happens to be that we heal.
It happens to be that their defense mechanism is actually healing to Link.
And like fairy lore, like I don't know if you guys ever read any of the Dresden Files, but there are of course. Like if you make a deal with a fairy, that means that you owe that motherfucker something like huge, right? So, like, is Link like giving up one of his 5 names to this fairy for like a revive?
Yeah, like giving him power over.
I've won more of your true names. Yeah, soon I'll have them all, and I can rule you.
That's pretty dark when you think about how many times you die, and there's a fairy that saves you.
Yeah.
Like you defeat Gen, and then all of a sudden it's like all
these
fairies.
That game.
All these fairies show up and be like, "We own you."
Yeah.
You know, the whole time you were saying that, Stein, I kept thinking about that episode of American Dad where this dude makes a deal with the devil just to be able to play the guitar, right? And then he was like, "Man, that was amazing," and he's like, "Yeah, no worries." And then he goes, "Man, can you teach me how to play that?" He's like, "Well, you got to cover the cost. You got to cover what I paid for the lessons." And it was short, and then the fucking guy's soul gets taken because he transferred over the deal over to the guy. It's so great.
Oh man.
Good times. All right. So for number 2s, we had Starman from the Mario series, the Web Zip from Spider-Man, Nuka Cola from Fallout, and the bottled prisoner fairy from Zelda. Honorable mentions. What do you got for honorable mentions? Honorable mentions.
We don't have a song for that.
Close to making the list, but they didn't make it. Ooh.
Pacha.
All right. How close were they to making the list, though?
Missed it by that much.
That much. All right. DeBono, what do you got for your honorable mentions?
All right, for honorable mentions, I have got the Places of Power from The Witcher 3. They upgrade your stats. They help you buff for a little while. The Economizer from Final Fantasy VI. It makes every spell that you cast and anything you do magically only cost 1 MP. The Chaos Emeralds from Sonic the Hedgehog. Mentats from Fallout, which would raise your charisma for a limited amount of time, so you could just pop these things before you tried to convince somebody to do something for you. And this one may be controversial, but the hookers from GTA.
Oh,
Yeah,
they technically are.
Yeah.
Then you run them over
Yeah.
and you get your money
You
back.
get your money back. Oh
But
my
I mean,
god!
they are power-ups.
Oh wow!
Why is that? Why would that be controversial?
You know, because
I legit.
I heard-
because I'm in
we
no way
support sex
downplaying
workers
sex
here.
work. Sex work
Yeah.
is work.
Yeah,
But
right.
in the video game, the hooker is a power-up.
I had to put something from Skyrim on there, and there's two. There's the Amulet of Mara, which allows you to get married in the game, as if like I couldn't like
You have to have an amulet to
commit.
do that?
Yes, you wear one, and then that's when people see you wearing it, they're like, "Hey!" And you talk to certain characters. It unlocks the concept of like marriage, and if you're like cool enough or strong enough, or you
Oh, so this is another reverse power up where you get damage.
Yeah.
You take damage to. Okay, that makes more sense.
There's also the ring. Oh god, what the hell's the ring of Namira, which turns you into a cannibal, where you can eat the dead bodies of people to get power. Like so you literally turn everyone you kill into a power up. You know, like you could just eat the bodies, and also the Tanuki suit from Super Mario Brothers 3.
There it is.
The Tanuki suit.
That's the raccoon suit. Raccoon.
Well, there's the raccoon leaf, and then
Right.
there's the Tanuki suit.
That's the one that lets you turn into a statue, so flames and bullet bills and shit couldn't hurt you.
Yes,
Right.
that's the one. And I want to. Well, never mind. There's a couple.
You could also fly with the Tanuki suit
Yes.
because you could fly with the raccoon tail, but when you got the full suit,
Yeah, you could do more. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that game was dope. I love the Tanuki suit was like another one where it's like when you finally get it, it's like, oh shit, you know, like what is this, you know, that and the warp whistle.
The warp whistle.
The warp
Oh,
whistle in
Three.
Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, that one has some of my favorite power-ups of all time.
All right, Stein, what do you got? Honorable mentions.
So I didn't know that we had to do honorable mentions. So I didn't come up with the list that I wrote down and thought out. So here they are right off the top of my head. Super Mario 3, Frog Suit.
Frog suit.
Frog suit was
yeah, dude.
legit. You know what?
Let's
You know what?
jump
You know what I didn't like about that frog suit? You have to use it in a water level, because then you just look stupid and it fucks you up.
It was not easy if you weren't in water, but you were in water, you were unstoppable. Let's see. Next, the fucking tank in Destiny.
What?
When you don't get it often. Like sometimes you get a tank though, and when you're in that tank, you just blow shit up, and it's the best. Always love a good Destiny tank.
Whole ass tank.
It's a whole ass tank. What else is good? I was gonna put the star actually, but I didn't because I knew it was gonna get picked by other people. I just had a feeling. So the star in Super Mario also, and any cool gun in Contra.
Oh yeah.
That made the weapons mountain. The spread gun.
I already said God mode earlier in Doom, but I'm saying that one again.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember those codes they used to type in. IDDQD and IDKFA, like on the old school Doom.
Yeah. I love that because you just go around, you just punch people, and they would explode.
Yeah, that was great. Mine was the chainsaw. I loved going up
Chainsaw was
to the
good
chainsaw. Just
I my honorable mentions. I don't have a lot of honorable mentions, but my honorable mentions was the when you're on fire from NBA Jam.
Oh shit!
Nice.
That is such a good one. That didn't make your mountain.
No,
I didn't think about it, but that is a damn good one.
Well, the reason it didn't make my mountain is because I that would have been my number. That would have been the one instead of the Venom Punch if the Venom Punch wasn't allowed. But I just chose something. I chose a Venom Punch because I was like, let me choose one that's not 8 and or 16-bit. Like, let me choose one that's not retro.
A good one, though.
But I love the NBA Jam. Yeah, they're all, these are good. These are and then I like this is one that I never use, but watching the documentary King of Quarters I got a newfound respect for Donkey Kong. I never played Donkey Kong as a kid, and it was never my thing. But the hammer in Donkey Kong is pretty fucking rad. Only because now after watching that documentary, I respect that game a lot. I respect like people who could fucking master it. Because I just thought, oh, it looked easy, and it's not.
Yeah,
yeah.
The King of Kong, a fistful of quarters.
That's it. King of Kong, a fistful of quarters.
They had. I worked at Dave & Buster's in Times Square when I first moved to New York, and they had their.
All right, stop bragging.
They had, no, that's not a fucking brag, please. That's the worst job ever. You don't want to work there. But they had the opening there for it, and like the guy was playing Donkey Kong the entire time. I just had to let you know.
The douchebag,
the American flag tie guy.
Not Billy. Not Billy Mitchell. The other guy was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The good guy. Yeah. If you guys haven't watched it, to the listener, if you haven't watched that's a great documentary.
It really is.
I would highly recommend the documentary. And then the other one, I don't know if this was. I forget if this was a move. I don't even know if this is a power up. To be honest with you, in Ninja Gaiden, when you start blinking and you become invincible for like 5 seconds or whatever the fuck
that's
it is.
Power.
Oh, that's the scroll. You get that little scroll.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I forgot if it was an actual item or if it was just when you die and then you happen to come back down and then you happen to be.
No, I think it's that you have to have the scroll.
The scroll.
Or something. There was like a symbol that you collected and then you would be. It was like the Starman, the equivalent.
Right. But it's different in the Starman in the sense that it didn't kill whatever you touch. It just didn't let them kill you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my honorable mentions. Let's go on to our number one.
Before you do number ones, Dave's got his list submitted over here on the side. Do you want to read it while we're doing honorable mentions?
Comments? Oh, he commented. There he goes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to throw one more down. The double ships in Galaga. I'm done. That's it.
Oh, there we go. And there it is on Dave's list.
Number one is
the
power pellet. Number one is the power pellet from Pac-Man. Number two is the super mushroom. Stein, don't be. That's not something to brag about. Number three is the dual fighter from Galaga. Number four is the clock from A Legend of Zelda. And his honorable mentions are the hammer from Donkey Kong, twin blasters from Star Fox, the spread gun from Contra, and the chain whip from Castlevania. I feel like all his honorable mentions are all
weapons.
But
I feel like the chain whip definitely counts because you can lose it if you get hit.
Yeah.
Most video games have weapons, though, right?
Yeah. All right, so let's go to our number ones.
Round one.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Do it! Come on!
All right. Just want to show this one more time.
Oh my god.
The audio listeners are gonna have no idea.
You have to check out. I just put up a random image. The image was from it's from one of the other podcasts that we do on the Geek Bro Network. So let's go to our.
It was a shocking image.
It was. I think we might get flagged for violence. We might get flagged for violence. All right. Let's go to number one. The Bono, what do you got for number one, man?
So my number one is one that is permanent. So I was back and forth about it. I feel better now knowing that some other people pick some stuff that's permanent. But the concept of power up, this is from a game, and when you use this item, it fundamentally powers you up as a person in the fact that it alters your DNA, giving you more powers. My number one are plasmids from BioShock.
Cool.
Interesting.
I was thinking of that.
BioShock is my favorite game of all time. It just absolutely blew me away. But this idea of finding and storing and buying up these plasmids that you inject into yourself, and they alter your DNA in a way that gives you powers. So the powers themselves are the weapons, but the plasmids that give you the powers are the power-ups. So that is how I justified keeping it on here, even though what it gives you is permanent. Also, you don't have to get certain ones. You can play to the strengths of how you like to play and getting the plasmids. I remember when I got the first BioShock game, almost immediately being enthralled by the imagery and everything like that. But the very first time you get a plasmid, it's a first-person game, you see your arm come up and you watch him take this needle and inject himself with this plasmid, and then you watch the electricity crawl all over your body.
No alcohol, no cotton swab, no nothing. He just injects himself.
Dude, he finds it on a filthy ass floor, like in a city that is under the ocean and in ruin.
You know what's an honorable mention that we skipped? The street turkeys that you get from.
I always put that on there. Damn it! Yes.
Yeah, you know those random turkeys
leg,
you eat off the floor.
T-bone steak.
But he injects himself with it, and now you can shoot lightning bolts out of your hands.
Yeah.
They have plasmids that could do so much. They made them to where you could call forth swarms of wasps that would go and just kill and
underwater.
Well, you're in a city that's underwater.
Aqua wasps.
So you're
Okay.
So the fact that they're coming out of your hand, you're fine with that. The fact that they've created them in a lab underwater.
It's changing your DNA, Debona. It's changing your DNA. I mean,
Aqua wasp. I don't understand what's so weird about Aqua
wasp. And so there was so much you could do with them I
was going to play this game, but it just sounds ridiculous now.
As the series progressed, they changed up, but they changed up what you could do with them. Plasmids were a huge part of the game, but they powered you up as an individual. And because they were so highly customizable in which ones you picked and which ones you left alone, I think that they're more than just something you find in the game that you always keep with you, because you do have to choose the particular plasmids. So my number one are plasmids from the BioShock series.
Nice.
Okay. Nice. Oh, you know what's another good one? Whoop-dee. Is that a power up? That's a power up, right? When you touch it.
That was just a guy.
That was a guy that pops up when you do
something.
But
cool. When you touch it, it takes you to a different level. It takes you to a different stage. If you were on the arcade and you're toasty, and then you hit the power button, it took you to you.
That's how you fought like Reptile or Smoke, I think.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. Noob Sabian.
Yeah, Noob Sabat.
I just thought of the Tiki mask from Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, that's a good honorable mention.
That was a good one.
All right, Mike, what's your number one?
As someone, I feel like this is kind of a universal power up, but the one that specifically is important.
Aqua wasps.
It is Aqua wasps. First try. When you get the fast travel map in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
The fast travel. So if anyone's ever played Red Dead Redemption 2,
power up.
You have to buy it. It's an upgrade. You have to pay for, like, as you build your camp, and it's explained by the fact that you can like put a map. It is the fast travel map is it's 100% an upgraded thing that you have to buy to power up your camp that unlocks new features. And if you've ever had to ride a horse from one corner of that giant fucking map to another, the fast travel is like invaluable. Like you don't have you just click the thing.
Mike's number one is the web zip for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
The web zip for Red Dead Redemption.
When the horse jumps through the sky and shoots webs and
Mike
pulls
just
it
doesn't like taking a long time to get from point A to point B.
No.
Long shot. Long shot gets you there faster, gets you there higher.
Mike lives in New York and he fucking hates public transportation. And
look, you don't understand. If I could press a button on my subway map and then just be there, are you kidding? Hell yeah, that's the ultimate New Yorker dream.
That's the dream.
3 out of the 4 power-ups that you have were just like transportation, like
just going faster and like not having to deal with people.
This might be my Rorschach test about like what I want in my life, like a big slow dude. I just want to be quick, man. I just want to be nimble, you know. I want to live inside a shoe that shoots webs and flings me from building to building.
By the way,
the shoe gets you around quicker too.
The shoe gets around quicker too. It's also transportation. Like you chose all 4 of your pictures transportation choices. Like that's
you know what? I wanted to stay away from weapons as much as possible, and I guess the opposite of fighting is running.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. I went full flight on this mountain. I think we've
either
unlocked.
that or it gets you to the fight faster.
Either or. there's a through line through all my picks that I am realizing now. But yeah,
I think your answer has to change from now. And whenever somebody asks you if you had a superpower, what would it be? You have to say speedster at this point, right?
I have
that
to
has
say
to be
speedster.
like you have to,
or teleport or something.
Teleport, yeah.
He only plays Rangers in Dungeons and Dragons. I'll tell you that much.
That's a very specific. Wow. Holy shit, I'm learning about myself. When this episode is done recording, I'm going to go sit and stare out the window through the rain at a weird light hits me.
You're going to be in an
have a
80s
moment.
R&B music video?
Yeah. I'm going to really have to think about my life.
Text on Excel.
I'm gonna go to the one window of my house that faces north and look up to you, Mike.
Yeah. It'll be like somewhere out there.
Mike is going fast.
Full speedster, man. That is, but yeah, no, I have sunk so many hours into Red Dead that it is like, it was the new Skyrim in the sense that like as good as my life was in that game meant that my real life was doing the opposite, like poor, like bad, like all of my hours spent doing good in that game, like upgrading my camp and making people like me. In my real life, people are like, Mike smells bad and he's kind of a dick, like
that line in that South Park episode of them doing that game of
the World of
online
Warcraft,
game, the World of Warcraft episode where they this guy gets a sword or whatever. They have to find it, like, and the game developers, that line that the game developer says, like, this guy he's literally sat there and built his character up so strong that that guy that he literally can't be beat. And then the line that the game developer says, like, how do we beat that has no life?
How do we
kill that?
How do we kill that which has no life? Right?
Yeah, that line is so fucking hilarious. Like I smile every time I think about that line. But when I first saw it, I cackled hard as fuck. And that's all I think about when Mike ever talks about Skyrim or Red Dead Redemption 2. And I was like, how do you kill that which has no life?
The Fallout franchise is my happy place in that, man. I'm with you on that. Like, it's like,
but is it the same as and I don't know because I haven't never played BioShock, the Skyrim and the Red Dead Redemption 2, where you literally are just like, you have to eat. Yes. Your character has to eat. Your character has to sleep. You have to tell them to sleep and eat. Like, you can't.
Yes.
Just, like,
Yes, it is. It is very much just like, I mean, Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 are built by the same company. They're Bethesda.
Yeah, they're both. And
then
Skyrim
there was Fallout New Vegas, where we got the crossover of Bethesda and Obsidian. So we got to get a little bit of both in that gem.
I'll tell you this. Any of those like world exploring games where you can build a house or own property or upgrade a camp, forget it. I'm like I was a little too late for Minecraft, but I feel like if I was the right age, I'd have like a Minecraft obsession. And
it's never too late, Mike. It's never too late.
Nah, it's too late.
Not
for me,
not with that attitude, Mike.
Not with Minecraft. It's ready for you, baby.
No, or like any of those like City Skylines or Sim City or all those things where it's like you build stuff. It doesn't have to. It can't be the game itself, but if it's like a little part of the game, like in Skyrim, I was like, I had this dope house, married, 2 kids. I had like adopted children. I had like homes all over the country. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here in my New York apartment eating a can of beans or some shit, like the opposite of like, look at how good my life is in there, not here.
You're like Jim in The Office when he made that game in Afterlife. He made that with a guitar and he could fly.
Second Life
with a guitar and then he could fly. And you're like, oh look, he's like, oh shit. All right, Stein, what do you got for your number 1, man?
Yeah, so we didn't say that the power-up had to come from an actual video game. This is from a video game inside of a fictional world. So this is a power-up from a fake video game. So I'm choosing the extra life coin from the Oasis in Ready Player One.
Wow. Way to loophole the fucking rules.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because Parzival, he survives the cataclysm bomb. And trust me, I was thinking it would be cool to be Ultraman for a minute, but this is way better. Because
does anybody Neri has no idea what we're talking about.
What?
Did you read or see Ready Player One?
first of all, not only did I see it, but I read the first 7 chapters, so I know exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did start reading. To Stein, you know, I'm not a read. I don't read. I don't.
Sure.
I just don't. I don't.
It's hard.
Well, I get. I'll be honest. This is a true story. And people, you can make fun of me all you want, but it's a disability, I guess. But I start falling asleep immediately when I start reading. It's one of those.
Yeah,
things
let
where
me make
it's
fun of your disability. That would be
yeah,
good.
well, that's why I said disability, so you don't make fun of me. But I don't know. If that's
Yeah.
classified. I don't know if that's like in the American for Disabilities Association. I don't know if like I fall asleep when I read. I don't think
you
that's
just got
actually
skin
Idiot.
Collective narcolepsy.
I get
What a
sleepy when I
dumb
read,
person.
guys. No,
So
I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of reading even comics, which I love comics, but I literally could do like one comic and then have to take a break because if I start going through, especially like it's one of those like omnibooks where you're like, oh, it's 12 issues of something, I'll fucking fall asleep. But I started reading Ready Player One because there was such hype for the movie, and I was like, oh, I'll start reading, and I got through like I think chapter 8 or 9, I forgot where I got through, but I remember reading it. I'm like, this is very cool, but it's just nostalgia porn.
It really is. The book for sure.
It took me out of the story because I was like, I was like, there's no fucking way that you could watch all these shows, play all these games, watch all these movies, read all these books, no matter how fucking I'm so hardcore into the 80s, and there's fucking no way. Like I had the same problem when I watched Big Bang Theory. I was like, there's no way you have enough time to know every storyline of every comic and be a fucking astrophysicist and have time for paintball and like there's no fucking.
You know what
way
I'm hearing here? You know what I'm hearing? A lot of excuses. You know, because these people have put in the fucking work.
Well,
they
it's not
put
my
in
fault. My parents are still together. It's not my fault.
Parzival lived with his aunt. Okay, this isn't a laughing matter. Wade Watts was an orphan, all right?
What?
And he became the most powerful person in the Oasis after the Cataclysm bomb went off because he played a perfect game of Pac-Man and he got that coin. That coin and he became the most powerful person in the Oasis and the most powerful person in the world. Richest person, most powerful person in game. IRL.
I enjoyed the movie. A lot of people did not enjoy that movie for whatever reason.
I liked it. It just
the movie is fine. The movie was fun. They replaced Ultraman with a Gundam and Iron Giant, which is fine by me. That's cool. You know, you got Steven Spielberg.
The people who didn't the people who didn't like the movie are the same people who didn't like the movie version of Zombie or World War Z. It's because you read the books, and whose fault is that? Your own fault for reading. Your own fault for reading, guys. Don't fucking read and then watch the movie, and you're happy with whatever they give you because you have nothing to compare.
Because they fucking made it for you, and you should be appreciative. So the coin is going where Lincoln is, and also like a coin is just so iconic of video games. Taking it back to the iconography of looking at Mount Rushmore, a giant fucking coin is where it all began. So that's how I'm wrapping this up with the neat little bow.
I definitely think that's a good. Not from the coin from the movie, not as good as the coin from the book, because in the book he actually had to like play a perfect game of Pac-Man to get it.
Yeah,
you know?
And in the movie he just gets it from the curator, the fucking Simon Pegg or whatever, whoever. What was it? Martin Sheen.
What was the game that he played at the end that they couldn't figure out?
Adventure.
There you go. That's where
supposedly the first Easter egg. Yeah. Right. Oh, one more tiny thing. I found my copy of Ready Player One on a subway bench, so I had no idea what it was when I found it. So in a way, that book was a little Easter egg for me in my life.
Nice.
Well, that and the hepatitis that you got from when you picked up. Those two things are
you know,
live on forever.
Kids, don't read. You'll get hepatitis C.
Well, I didn't say which kind. No, I'm
C. It was C. I got C.
It's part of the adventure. Which hepatitis are you gonna get? Read a book.
It's Ernest Klein's
Reading
fault. That's
Rainbow.
what the C stands for. Klein.
Reading makes you get hepatitis. The more you know.
God damn it, LeVar.
Man.
So my number one, we could talk about it now. The Bona is a Starman from the Mario series. It is literally the The song, the music, the invincibility, the way it looks. The star became so iconic in every Mario game.
The flips that you do
in part three, when you would end each level and you would get like an icon. If you get 3 stars, you get 5 up, which is the most you could get at one time. When you were playing the memory card game, if you get the mushroom, you would get 1 power up. If you matched the flower, you would get 3. But if you match the star, man, it's 5 power up, level up. It is literally the Christmas tree, my Christmas tree topper. Without exaggeration, it is the Christmas tree topper to me and my family's Christmas tree. Much to my wife's dismay, much to her dismay. Because the angel that's been passed down from generation to generation by her family has been replaced by something that I bought at GameStop 1 year. Because my kids are like, oh, Mom, it's the star from Mario. I definitely want it, and it lights up. It's amazing. Starman.
I was saying this. The first video game I remember playing was the original Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo. And that first time you get it, and the music changes, and you're faster, and nothing can hurt you, and you're blinking. It was an assault on your senses, and just completely. Like you had spent this entire level just trying to figure out how this game worked. Like, oh, I can jump on these things, and these things leave their shell behind, and some blocks have shit in them and some don't. And then you get that star, and it's like, none of that fucking matters. Like, just get out of my way, or don't. I don't give a shit because I'm invincible now. And you just start hauling ass to this like frantic music that, honest to God, as I run, like when I look down at my watch and I see I've got a half mile left. Like, that's the music that starts playing in my head. Yeah. It's like, I can finish now. It's like, all right. So
I would hunt down people that characters like the flower plants that I could never. You can't do anything. You can't kill them unless you have. Because in Mario 1, you couldn't even pick up a shell yet. You couldn't pick it up. So when I would get the star, I would go back and to kill the fucking the plants. It was like the power of the star of Starman. I became Bishop from Juice, where I was like, oh shit, let me go find you and kill you.
Wow, what a reference!
Wow,
Juice.
The Juice deep cut.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that's that was totally not because I watched that movie today on a plane. It's totally because I remember it from when it came out. It's Stein. It's a movie from the late 80s, early 90s. It's called Juice with Omar.
That was a good one.
Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur.
And their DJs.
Yeah, well,
I've seen like a snippet of this when it was on Encore back when I used to live back in Colorado.
That's right.
On Encore. You know what's funny? We've gone through this entire mountain, and not one person said a Mega Man thing, which is like notorious.
I was thinking about it, but they're good power-ups.
They're all weapons. They're all weapons.
Rush the dog. There's the little platforms that you shoot that you have to get to other places. Like there's other ones, but you're right. I mean, they're one of them's a shield, a leaf shield. You know, like there's
that bullshit shield.
Yeah, but not one person said
Can I just tell you, it took me a long time to fucking actually press any kind of defensive button on a video game. Like it took a lot. It took like, I want to say, not even the first Mortal Kombat. I was like, nah, I'm not blocking for shit. I don't block, bro. But it took a long time. I think it was like probably the second Mortal Kombat. I was like, oh, I should probably block, right? I should probably block this shit.
That's the number one on your mountain, a block, because you're like, I didn't even know what a power up. What a boost I've got.
I used to hate playing the kids that all they did was block, and you go, oh, come on, man, you fucking pussy.
And then they would beat you because they knew how to block.
They would. Legit. I'm like, all you know how to do is block, and they're like, then
the parry. When you learn the parry, you like time it, throw somebody off. Right. Then you're on a whole new level. You're there, man.
You know what game they should remake, but like better is Killer Instinct. Remember that shit? Oh,
I got into a physical fight with an adult man at a arcade because I beat him so bad in Killer Instinct.
Who was your character, Mike?
Name it. I was good with Orchid was my number one, and then Jago.
How would you fight?
Orchid would like show them her tits, and their eyes would bulge out of their heads. It's like one of the. Yeah,
I never did I always ultra comboed, and that was offense in arcade etiquette for you to start the ultra combo and then turn your back to the machine as the other guy's getting his ass kicked was the start of the fight. Whether like he was like, "Fuck you,
how old were you when you got in a fight with this adult man?
14, maybe."
So Mike was 7 feet tall. At the time.
I was gonna say he was already 7 feet tall with a beard, but still, the fact that you were still 14.
Like when the cops came, they're like, "That fucker's a kid." I was like, "Yeah."
Because
no, but
they went up to the adult and they're like, "Sir, do you want to press charges?"
That one and that's the arcade culture that you don't the creepy adults that used to hang out at arcades that would fight or get into like arguments with kids or try to beat the shit out of kids.
Adults. There were 19, 20-year-old college kids that still lived at home with their mom.
No. This guy was like he must have been 30 something.
Look, this guy was there. He had money. The quarters that he was using was for his laundry. His wife thought that he was out doing laundry.
Doing the laundry, that one. Fighting Vipers. I remember getting into a fist fight over both those games for being too good. They're like, "Oh, you're fucking cheating," and I'm like, "It ain't cheating if it's in the game." And then then I got punched.
The fighting game community is one of the most toxic communities in the world. It is god awful. Like it is the reason I had to walk away from women though. Tekken. What?
No,
you're not bad towards women though.
No, never.
That's the worst. God, video gamers and women, this is the fucking one. They're the worst.
So what's the mountain?
So Starman is the only repeat.
And it's a number one, so it would make sense to just take everybody's number ones. Starman's got a repeat, and it's a number one pick. So if we just take everybody's number ones,
if you need to leave, you could do that. But
I don't need to leave. That's just what we've done in the past.
No, when we have no
repeats,
everybody's number one is the automatic mountain. That's not the same here. We have a repeat, so therefore now we have a debate going on. Now we get a debate going on of does anybody want to nominate somebody else's pick that was not yours to be on the mountain? Is there somebody else made they go, okay, that one aside from Starman, because it's already
Starman, I think the plasmids might be a good one. Where you actually like inject yourself with a fucking power up, like I think that's pretty iconic. I don't know if any of mine really hold up to.
No, because they're all travel.
No, I like the shoe. If I were to pick any of mine,
I gotta be honest with you. I like the hook shot because the hook shot is very functional. I like the hook shot it's still a travel tool, but I like the hook shot.
It's got to be the long shot though, because the long shot is when you upgrade.
I'm sorry, long shot is what I meant. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
I don't know. Fairy in a bottle.
That's pretty good.
I'm a fairy in a bottle. You gotta.
I like that Stockholm syndrome.
You gotta kill me the right way.
I like fairy in a bottle. I can definitely get behind that one because it's defensive, which is we didn't have a lot of defensive recovery style.
I mean, the extra life coin is kind of a fairy in a bottle, but better.
I like the coin too. Yeah, that's a tough one. I like the coin
because it's out of the box thinking, and I am a fan of out of the box thinking. I'm a fan of that. Like, we never technically said it had to be from a video game. We just said video game power up, and that's you wrote. I thought that was a cool twist. Also, I like the fact that when you brought it up, I was able to say, "Of course, I saw the movie. Why wouldn't?"
and I've read part of a book.
Part of it.
So what do we got?
It was 7 chapters away from me. It's in here. It lives in here and in here. So right now we got Starman, Bottled Fairy, and Extra Life Coin. Anybody else want to recommend?
And Mike threw in plasmids.
Plasmids. Yeah. See, that way everybody gets something in there. Because we used to Stein for just so you know, usually we just start like boasting our own picks and be like, I like this. This is one of my picks that I think should make it.
Yeah, no, mine are the best picks. Like, if Big Pipe, like, are you fucking kidding me? Big Pipe isn't on there.
Hey man, I gave you a chance. And nobody brought a Big Pipe. Nobody.
Nobody brought a big pipe.
What are all the guns made out of? Big Pipe, scopes, Big Pipe.
That's true.
You ever showed a bazooka?
Where does Mario go underground? Big pipe.
Big pipe.
That's what I thought when you first said big pipe. I was like, does he mean warp pipe?
The warp pipe is what I thought you were
Any
talking
big
about.
pipe. Any big pipe. See? Works.
Any big pipe will do.
Funny.
You sound like my ex-girlfriend who cheated on me. All right, so the final mountain is Starman from the Mario series, Bottled Fairy from Zelda: A Link to the Past, Extra Life Coin from Ready Player One, and the Plasmids from BioShock.
Dig it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Everybody except for Mike got to pick on the because nobody else picked the transportation power up.
Underrated.
Long
we
shot.
did learn the
I
boot has
wanted
a
to go long
name.
shot. You guys went with plasmids, but I wanted to go
Fast
with
travel's
long shot.
not a power up, Mike. It's a feature in the game.
Not in Red Dead 2. You have to earn it.
Whatever.
And
All right, big pipe.
I don't know if that's called earning it if you just buy it.
Yeah, bro. You have any idea how hard it is to get money in fucking Red Dead? You have. It's a
not.
pain
You
in
rob
the ass.
do you know how many
You rob
perfect
people.
beavers he had to slay?
Yeah, I had to slay perfect beaver.
That's part of the game that bothered me in Red Dead 2. You couldn't have sex with the prostitutes. I mean,
I
they
thought
gave
you
you
were
a
gonna
bag.
say with the
You
beaver?
can get bathed. You can get bathed. That's as
Yeah,
close
One
but
of
as
the
you can
best parts of The Witcher.
get. Oh right,
Yeah.
Fucking on the stuffed unicorn? That's great.
is that really? I got to play Witcher.
Yeah, dude, you fucked Yennefer on the top of a spoiler alert.
Yeah, actually, legit.
Geralt and
You know what?
Yennefer fuck on a stuffed unicorn.
I was gonna play it this weekend, but I guess there's no need to
The
anymore.
best parts have been
Uh,
spoiled
No,
for you.
you should
You
be
will then
more
play it
excited
for the
now.
rest of your life.
Stein,
you,
tell us
guys.
about your podcast for the listener.
Oh yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Mt.Geekmore podcast and live stream. If you like the comedy stylings of Alexander Stein, you can listen to me on The Floor is a Dungeon. I am your favorite Pungeon Master. We just wrapped up our first season with Mike Mercadal as a guest for the last month of September. It was a Miami Vice themed one shot with a monster version of Ron DeSantis and his zombie army horde, aka the anti-maskers. And so they had to defeat them.
So you
and
just
it was
had
fantastic.
regular
Yeah.
DeSantis. You just had regular.
He was a sand
Is it a
mantis.
monster
He was a
version of him?
giant.
And I just feel as if that's redundant.
Yeah.
so-
He was a giant mantis, but he was Ron DeSantis. So tune into The Floor is Dungeon on all of your podcatchers and follow us at Dungeon Floor on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Well played.
All right. Well played, sir. At Dungeon on Floor is his handle. At
Dungeon
Mike Mercadal-
Floor.
At
No on.
Dungeon Floor.
Dungeon Floor.
At Mike Mercadal, at Punk_Phoenix, for Debona.
Nice.
Everything, all my social media as of right now is at Nary Signs, but at the time of this recording, my Instagram, I'm locked out of my Instagram account. Been working all day to get that back. Hopefully I'm able to get that back. I'm really, it's sad. Like, it makes me sad of how sad that makes me. Like,
You know,
the
it's
fact that it really bothers me that I'm locked out of my account and I may have to start all over again really fucking hurts my feelings. Like, it really, and it bothers me that it bothers me so much. 'Cause
You're
I
like
wish,
finally free from it. Like you
Yeah.
can get away. You can escape. But
I really wish that I could be one of those guys that are like, oh yeah, they hacked in my account. Oh, I guess I gotta start over again. Whatever. Like, I wish I could be one of those guys, but the fact that it's bothering me so much bothers me. But it is legitimately bothering me that I may have to start all over again.
They took your drugs away, man.
They did. They took my drugs away. I was trying to catch the dragon. I was like, I thought I was getting really close to fucking a video of mine went viral a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I'm getting some fucking steam, and well, there goes that. Hopefully not. Hopefully I get it back. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bro Network that include, but not limited to, the Kick Flicks podcast, where Mike and I talk about and review martial art movies. Sometimes we love them, sometimes we don't.
And Devonta was on the last couple.
The Woo Bro podcast, the What's Up Bro podcast, the Pero Let Me Tell You podcast, Cramotopia, Shiver, a horror movie podcast that Debona does, and a Dose of Ellie, a Child Like a Best with Mike Valdez, and Seasons, a TV podcast, which we are just finished doing episode 2 of season 2. Each season of that podcast, we watch and review a season of a popular TV show. Season 2 of the podcast is talking about NBC's Superstore, and the second episode just went up, so we just talked about the second season of that show. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure you go to geekbro.net, check out all the other podcasts. You guys be great. God bless you guys. Peace.